Okay, everybody, it's time to talk about One Piece.
Don't you mean stall piece?
Yeah, stall piece.
Because once again, Oda's stalling to get to the 800.
Of course.
However, this chapter was, I think, heaps and bounds better than last week's.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, sure. Last week we had the feels with Rebecca and Kiros, but compared to the feels between Sengoku and Law, it just does. You can't compare
No.
because we actually care about those characters. We don't care about Rebecca and Kiros.
Mm-hmm.
But and we got some more clarification that the Tontada. I called it. I knew it. The Tontada were going to be doing something to help, and they
Mm-hmm.
did. And something that I never thought that also in this chapter that was something very surprising, and that is their Tontada doing something I never thought they would actually be able to pull off, especially since they're so gullible. They actually, now this could have been a plan by Kiros, but it could have also been a plan by them, but they actually tricked Mancherry into taking too much blood from the soldiers so they would be too weak to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Leo friggin' stitching together battleships.
Yep.
That's some impressive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, like I said earlier, the feels. Such. Like, I should definitely. Power of the. Of the. Of the. Our channel has struck again. Didn't I say last week that was probably what was going to happen? He was going to go talk to Sengoku about Corazon. And what does he do? He talks to Sengoku about Corazon.
Oh yeah, what happened was we were talking and then I said, well, some people were saying that he was gonna go to Sengoku, and then we talked about why that would make sense.
But still, so what?
Yeah.
We said that was the most likely thing, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
happened. And it's just interesting their exchange about how, and I didn't like there at certain parts it felt kind of like it had very like you see like of the various other relationships between pirates and marines when you see this, like you kind of see a little bit of um like Sengoku at some points is acting a little like Garp,
Mm-hmm.
and Law seems a little bit like Ace at sometimes at least. But I
Yeah.
think the biggest comparison, and some I actually got one of the one another reviewer actually pointed this out. Doesn't this interaction and especially the words between Sengoku and Law eerily remind you of Robin and Aokiji at the end of Eni's Lobby?
Yes.
Like I didn't actually think about that, but it does.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about how okay, you're free now. This insert inspirational person from past would want you to live on and free.
Yeah.
So I thought that's I think what really made it, you know, hit the fields is that that the fact that even though one's a pirate and one's a marine, they have this connection. They are both connected by this one person, this one great person
Yep.
who did so much for others and asked for little in return, which I know it sounds a little cliche of a description, but that's pretty much what happened. And
Yeah,
just the
Rocinante
way,
was this shit.
and especially when you get the flashback and actually see how Sengoku finds out about his death, that is just screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, he's like, oh, we found one of the Don Quixote. Like, because when you think about it, I don't think he actually knows what his code name was for. I don't know if he actually, if I don't know if Sengoku actually knew Rosinante's code name for the Don Quixote pirates. So what I don't think he actually knew was Rosinante until he got the facts,
Uh-huh.
which is even worse
Right.
because it's like, oh yeah, we got one of the Don Quixote family members. Then you see the picture, oh my god, it's Rosinante,
Uh-huh.
and just that's flat. Like I said, time and again, Oda is the master of flashbacks,
Oh yeah.
especially when those flashbacks are backstory. because there are many times when a mangaka would use flashback to something that happened earlier in the series or earlier in the same arc just to screw around with us.
Mhm.
But when it comes to backstory related flashbacks, Oda's the best.
Yeah. It's not even a question.
Not even. He's also the best when it comes to foreshadowing as well, but that's a different part of things.
Mhm.
And then you have the last part where everyone's trying to where out of nowhere all the debris starts floating into the air and you're like, "Huh?" And Fujitora is taking using his devil fruit powers to levitate all the debris in the entire country at once.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And then he's just this little face on friggin' Bartolomeo's face when he sees that debris heading their way.
Yep.
He's like, "What the fuck?" And then like, oh, Law shows up. Good. And then Luffy shows up. Like, all right, just run past Fujitora and we'll get the hell out of here. No, Luffy has to be Luffy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Plus Oda's trying to stall, but Luffy's still being Luffy.
Mhm.
And I kind of sort of figured at some point he was gonna get tired of running and just be like, okay, let's take these bitches on. But what he does, like, he straight up elephant guns Fujitora. Granted, Fujitora blocks, but like he just straight up goes for gear third.
Mhm.
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't care who it is. The king of the pirate doesn't back down from a fight.
Mhm.
So, but based on just the fact that Fujitora can levitate that much stuff, yeah, Luffy's not ready just yet. It's gonna be a quick scuffle, and then, then they're gonna get out of there because Law's there, so he'll be once everyone gets on the ship. Law will just use room to teleport Luffy onto the ship, and then they'll run away.
Oh yeah.
So, but unfortunately, my one theory of Bellamy sacrificing himself to hold off the Marines is getting less and less possible.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
the chapter is still, it's still, I thought was still pretty good. I mean, it progressed a little more,
Mhm. A little
but
bit.
a little bit, just a wee tiny bit. Now, here's one thing that I do. One thing that it's definitely going to be interesting, and is kind of also worrisome. In the part where everyone's looking up in the sky and seeing the debris, you see Kiros and Rebecca talking about how, oh, now we'll not be able to escape. Are they planning on leaving with the pirates?
No. In the stream translation, she said the escape, meaning because they were specifically concerned about Luffy.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, it
Yeah.
made, like, no, well, no, that's what I read. The stream, oh, wait, no, I didn't read the stream translation.
Yeah.
But
The panda translation fucked up big
I'm
time.
like, whoa, are you, like, are they, like, for a second there, I thought they were going to try and leave with the pirate crew, with the group, because they don't want
No.
to stay in the country anymore. I'm like, what? Really? But thank God.
Mhm.
That was just. I nearly had a heart attack. It's like, really? First, you give us that, oh yeah, Rebecca's definitely not going to join. And now she's like, oh my God, there's a possibility they might be temporary crew members. Oh God.
Yeah. No.
Oh, thank God. But, yeah. Still, despite that, it was a good chapter.
Yeah.
It's,
Definitely.
I mean, what? We got two more, like, after this chapter, what is it? Because this was what, 98?
Mhm.
Meaning next week we'll probably get a scuffle between Luffy and Fujitora, and then 800's when they're finally gonna leave.
Yeah.
So, course, the only other interesting thing is I thought was the cover page because Boa Hancock quote unquote writing a love letter to Luffy
Mm-hmm.
when it looks more like a love library.
Yeah.
And based on the looks of her sisters, sounds like she put some pretty, adult content in those letters.
Probably.
So, but it's nice to see Boa. I miss the comedy of her love of Luffy and her
Yeah.
hate while at the same time hating every other man on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And just yeah. So
Yeah. The only thing I have to point out is that when Fujitora lifted everything, he also lifted Pika's lower half that was still hanging there.
Well, I said the debris.
I know. I'm just pointing out in specific that like giant ass Pika statue, that half of it that was still standing, gone.
Well, I'm assuming the other half was a part of the debris.
Well, I know that. I'm just saying,
So
just
technically,
in
he lifted
perspective.
up. Yeah, in perspective, there was enough debris there to make several Pika statues.
Yeah.
I mean, it was debris that was covering the whole country.
Mm. Actually, I think you can sort of see it up.
Which is kind of good on Fujitora's part because he's kind of killing two birds. Well, the point I'm trying to make, the funny thing is that Fujitora gets to kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
He gets to help clean up the country, while at the same time take out the pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least that's his train of thought.
Yeah.
Oh, how can I forget the funny moment where Suru's like, "Oh, Fujitora, do you still need those reinforcements?"
Right.
Guess not. I thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think that's it.
Yeah, I guess that'll be about it for this week. And apparently, there's no. There is a chapter next week unless there is a notice. So.
No, there's a chapter next week because. Alright. So, but the question is, will there be a break in between 799 and 800, or is he going to take a break after 800?
Yeah, I still think he'll take a break after 800, but we'll see.
I don't know. He's seeming lately, ever since he started taking regular breaks, he seems to have adapted, taken some lessons in trolling from Kubo.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, at least he didn't dick tease Sanji and then went on break. At least he didn't do that like we thought he was gonna do. So that was a
Yeah, well,
relief.
we still but we got only a small Sanji relief a
Mm-hmm.
couple chapters ago, just so we can see that they're still okay,
Yeah.
and just so he can appease the fans.
Mm-hmm. Which is
Of
fine.
course, yeah. I mean, if he really wanted to stretch out the arc, he could have shown a little more of them, but
Mm-hmm.
or maybe a little Kaido, a little more Kaido.
Yeah.
Because most likely, what's gonna happen is the then at some point we'll see the Kid Alliance, and then they'll be all like fucked up or injured, or they'll just be fine or something,
Yeah.
and then we'll find out what happened
Mm-hmm.
with that encounter.
Right.
So, yeah, that's it.